I've got 4 packages here. This ordering doesn't work perfectly. Yeah, it does. The packaging says the sticker's a little high on this one. Okay, I got that. Oh, it actually looks like the preparation. So I guess that means this one is, though there's probably 2 things in this one, but I would guess one is a little bigger than usual. Around to this side. That should be enough to. Alright, and this stuff's trying to fall, so let's begin with Shining Resonance Refrain, Dragonlance Edition. Yeah, I was just thinking, how is Dragonlance spelled, because it's giving me flashbacks to the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons games. The Champions of Krynn, Death Knights of Krynn, and Dark Queen of Krynn. I don't know if you ever played any of those. I think I mentioned that I wanted to try speedrunning them. Okay, so this is a really interesting presentation. So first you got this slipcover, which doesn't work terribly well, but it doesn't work. Oh shit! This is interesting. This is a metal tin with a lady, and that's some rather risque choice. I guess either they're showing skin up there or down there, huh? And let's see, 111. Okay, that's expected. Huh. So I guess there's not a lot to this other than the very distinct release. Jesus, $10 Switch game. Anyways, I think I got that one because it looked JRPG-ish with maybe neat character designs. I don't know that I specifically was interested. So we've got Baldios the Movie DVD version. I do believe the Blu-ray version is somewhere behind me. Sneaking up behind me, ready to stab me from behind. An enemy so dirty they've condemned their entire planet. Don't know what to make of that. This in here, and then take a quick look at the DVD. The 2 discs. So, oh, interesting. So disc 1 is the original Japanese subtitled, the original Japanese language, and this one is English language dub. So usually if it's going to be separated like that, it basically means that the English version is probably edited in a horrible way. Yeah, let's just go in the order. We got Garo. Let's take this Funimation sticker off. I usually ignore them as inconveniences, but this one's way too inconvenient. Garo Divine Flame, which is a movie for Garo, which I never finished watching. I see Region A. I see an English dub. Don't know what to think about the DVD and Blu-ray. Well, it feels like it should have more than one disc thing. For Funimation, it's usually... Yeah, anyways. Let's see. here we have the Blu-ray version, here we have the DVD version, and it looks like another version of the same art on the very inside, which is interesting. Like the clouds, like the wind. This is DVD version. I see audio is Japanese with English subtitles. An old country, a new empress. I think I commented before that I thought that was maybe an empress. I don't know, because the Blu-ray version is over behind me and looks a little ancient. Well, maybe not ancient, but I don't know, it could be like a month old. These Blu-ray DVD releases being a month apart thing, it is kind of throwing me in for a loop. I think I appreciate it because Discotek is releasing a lot of stuff, and even if I haven't watched Like the Clouds, Like the Wind since I got it, I am interested. It's a very curious looking thing. Oh well, a disc. Nice and simple. Yeah, nothing on the artwork on the flip side. Next up we have the Tibetan Dog from the director of Made in Abyss, Black Bullet, and A Spirit of the Sun. The last of which I actually received, what, a day or two ago? Here we see it's Region A, here we see it's English dubbed, and A Boy, Dog, A Friendship. Not to be confused with A Man, A Plan, A Canal. Sorry, A Man, A Plan, A Canal. Yeah, I can't even say my palindromes correctly. Keeps feeling like there's something there. Oh look, there's something there. How annoying. Anyways, here is the disc. I don't think there was also a DVD release of this, but I'll have to double check to make sure. Tenchi Myuo. This sticker right now is irritating me a little bit. And I've seen a couple of, well rather, I've seen the preview for this a couple times on account of the fact that it's been advertised, I guess. Weird, that's Sasami, and is that Sasami? I mean, that's Ayaka because that's her followers. I just wondered, it's not behaving like Sasami. I guess maybe that's her there? Yeah. I don't know what to think about this. It could be just blah, it could be interesting, it could be... I think the thing to do is to watch it and find out. I did say it was Region A, there's English audio. And we got a bunch of characters on the inside, and that's the sort of thing that makes me think it might not work out, but then again, you never really know. Oh no, that's Ryoko. Jeez. Why didn't I think that that was Ryoko before? I don't know that she wears that sort of thing. This is DVD, this is DVD, this is Blu-ray. Interesting. Shorts. 1 through 50. Okay, so these are short episodes. This one has 1 through 32. This one has 32 through 50. And here we have Bowl. I'm not going to guess if Washu is among them. But yeah, I'm mostly curious about that because sometimes, like Tenchi in Tokyo, I actually kind of enjoy it. It has some shortcomings in terms of basing its stuff off of the Tenchi lore, I guess. But it's not a retread like I thought Tenchi Universe was compared to the OVA, and at the same time, it had an interesting villain, and I liked the comedy. So, I don't know. Love and Lies is the last thing. Complete collection. And I was noticing on the back, region A only. It looks like it's Japanese with English subtitles only. High school romance. Love and Lies. Not sure what to think. I mean, it looks like the sort of thing that could be fun to try to start, but yeah. Anyways. Oh wait, this isn't everything. Because I also had... Whoa. These two things arrive. I completely forgot. As you can tell, I'm a little off today. We got the Irregular at Magic High School, The Girl Who Summons the Stars. So this is a movie. So this makes my watching, I think I mentioned it back then as well, but my watching, thumbing through of The Irregular at Magic High recently actually not too bad of an idea, because here we have a postcard that could almost be out of the out of the series. Then we have a lot of dark imagery, like people wearing dark stuff and dark backgrounds and stuff. I don't remember the series having Blu-rays like that. And last but not least, Katsugeki Touken Ranbu, which it looks interesting as well. I say that about a whole lot of stuff and watch a whole lot of nothing, don't I? And then I watched something that I probably said looked interesting and said, okay, I said it looked interesting, but it's total crap, and who knows how much of these are total crap. Jesus, I think the packaging is total crap. Well, fortunately, the Aniplex releases have become solid enough such that, and I mean like physically solid enough such that I don't feel like I need to hold on to that. So that's the full front art. Nothing else is needed. I'm kind of curious. Original Japanese audio and English dub. So this thing has an English dub to it as well. It's kind of interesting. So we got this TV animation series. Looks like a lot of character designy sort of stuff. We got a postcard, which is the same as the artwork in the front. And then let's see, what do we have here? This is a music CD collection. So here's hoping that it has really cool music. I might rip it anyways, just because, like, I think I didn't have any specific song about the Sword Oratoria soundtrack. Disc 2 and Disc 3. Oof. This is a complete... Alright, that's all of it. Alright. Double checking to make sure I didn't forget anything. Looks like this time. Here's this week's anime DVD collection update. So last week I had started this. I said I was maybe about 4 episodes in. It was actually 3. Or I had watched 3 episodes. And for this week, this kind of sandwiched everything. I started off watching some more of this, and then I took a break to temporarily switch to some other stuff, and then I finished this off last night. So overall, I can't really say I was satisfied with the series. I think I mentioned, or I tried hinting at certain ideas last week where the characters kind of feel like they're going through the motion of stuff, like it doesn't feel as like the characters are necessarily characters, I guess. Sort of like a bad acting sort of thing, and I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it's... Unfortunately, I don't think the series... I think it grew a little bit above that, but not much further beyond that. Main character, I think I just didn't like, because she was a very bumping through life kind of girl, except that it set it up where she wasn't that, and it's just... I don't know. I kind of also felt like as the series progressed, it got subtly disgusting in a way. If I were to try to say specific things, some of it is as her relationship with the main character grows, she doesn't seem to grow or change. The series doesn't seem to, but that's not really disgusting per se. It's just one of those things where when situations come up, she's causing a lot of shit just because she doesn't really own up to her shit or something like that. And she's not ill-intentioned, but she's not trying to work with other people maybe. But really, when I was saying that phrase, I was more thinking about elevation of situations and this thing where she's, I guess, supposed to be a high-class girl. There's nothing in the show that really gives you any reason to believe that from her behavior or her hobbies or habits or anything like that. So maybe that's related to the show not feeling like the characters are really characters, but rather just convenient plot pieces. But one of the ways this really manifests is you kind of understand she comes from a rich family, and the show kind of escalates just how rich that is. It's not a consistent thing like Hayate the Combat Butler, which is like, oh yeah, absurdly rich. Now this one's just like, okay, at a certain point you think, what the fuck is she even doing in this school? Given the way her parents act, she would either be in a school with other well-to-do people, because she doesn't seem to give a damn one way or the other, or they build their own school for her because they can purchase islands just for birthday parties and weird things like that. So it's kind of disgusting because it's presented to create this divide that you're supposed to see between her and the main character, except it all feels fake, so it feels manipulative, and it feels like now it's going more and more out of its way to display disgusting behavior of people or whatever. And it's interesting because it seems like every super bad thing has justice moments, I guess, but it also kind of feels like it undermines a whole lot of those. Like, I guess as an example, no, I don't want to spoil that. I don't want to spoil any of it, but it just does that, and I'm not against the idea of watching the second season, but I just don't know if I'm going to prioritize it very high per se. I guess I'm kind of curious to see if it fixes itself, because if it was just this first season, it would have been okay, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to segue from that into In Another World with my smartphone, because it's kind of interesting. This has a very similar sort of gimmick of, it feels like the characters kind of get set up, like there's a lot of convenient things happening for them, which, you know, is what happens in here. Convenient, inconvenient, whichever, you know, conveniently inconvenient sort of stuff. And this show does that as well, but I would say that this one's fun. Now, I'm not going to say that everybody's going to enjoy it. If there's one problem with this show, it's that it doesn't really set up a good story, I guess. There's no real conflict. There's little interesting ideas and stuff, but even what it does do doesn't really play on its own strengths completely well. But all that said, it kind of knows it's doing this, and it's entertaining, I guess, because it's very dynamic. It's changing really rapidly and fast. It begins by introducing the main character, who's kind of cool and neat, chill kind of dude. You're like, oh yeah, I can get behind this guy. And then it introduces interesting ideas, but it's kind of notable that this is In Another World with my smartphone, and while the smartphone plays important parts here and there, it doesn't seem to be a real driving element per se in a whole lot of stuff. Some of it is maybe driving element behind the scenes, but This may as well be called In Another World, and I was given superpowers. And I'm totally chill about it. So, that basically means that as a show, you kind of get enjoyment from seeing how it's going to play with its own mechanics. It actually does a couple of fun things here and there. And I guess the sort of feel-good stuff it does, it feels a little less genuine than One Piece in that regard, but it's still kind of there. You're like, oh, it would be nice if they could do this, and of course they can do that, and people are better off and happy, and you just have to silence that part of your mind that says, yeah, but economically that doesn't really solve the problems, and there's some weird judgmental behavior going on here, or something like that. No, for the most part, it is. And it isn't completely devoid of conflict. There's some things that happen, but it doesn't, the conflict itself doesn't necessarily pay off, at least here. At best, you could kind of see this season or series as a setup for what may be coming, except it's kind of hard to tell if there's anything notable there. And it would be interesting if it maybe introduced things that deliberately undermine some of the ideas it presented, but I don't think it does. So overall, you know, it was okay. It's a very traditional harem anime sort of thing, where it's like, yeah, they you know, those girls all like him, right? It's not like your harem-esque anime where there's one guy and he's surrounded by a lot of girls. No, this one's like, yeah, they're interested in him. So, you know, it's a weird mix, but overall, it could be very entertaining to a lot of people, and I couldn't really blame somebody for not finding it engaging, because it's a little bit about if it just hits you in the right spot, I guess. Next up, I watched Owari Monogatari Volume 3, and so the reason I had put off watching this for so long is I had rewatched and then watched the latest couple of Bakemonogatari stuff with a friend, and I was wondering when this came out when I was going to get together with that friend, because he started working night shift stuff, and so the timings didn't work out so well. But he contacted me, and it's like, oh, good timing, because we have this to watch, and we watched it, and it was nice. It's not the best Bakemonogatari stuff that was out there, but it did a really good job of being satisfying. It almost feels like it's at a point where it could choose to be stopped. Like, it's similar to that feeling before Owari Monogatari came out, and you're like, oh shit, that's right, there were all these little holes, where it's like, oh, I feel like every big question that I had, mostly because the show itself leads you by the nose to realize, oh, you should be asking these questions. Well, it was kind of nice that it kind of felt like a lot of that stuff was satisfied. So I'm not sure what Zoku Owari Monogatari will be about, which comes out later this year, and I think people probably know because it's an adaptation of something from like Bakemonogatari final season or something like that. Anyways, overall, it was neat. There are a couple of things about it that weren't quite perfect, but yeah, whatever. Next up, A Centaur's Life. This was a weird one. So, it's kind of nice that the different demi-human sorts of shows that have come out recently are markedly different in terms of what they are. Now, there's still some appeal to male fan base sort of stuff that goes on in them, but they seem to be different kinds. Monster Musume, that's what I keep looking at in the corner there. Monster Musume being, you know, oh geez, let's have boobies, lots and lots of boobies, and it, you know, it does more than that, but it's kind of like along that line. A Centaur's Life and Interview with Monster Girls is a little more slice of life-ish, but Interview with Monster Girls is closer to that harem-esque angle, whereas this one is maybe slice of life, cute girls doing cute things sort of stuff, but it's really weird where it is with all that stuff. So one of the things that makes this really unique compared to the other ones is I call them demi-humans because for all intents and purposes that's what the character designs are. They're part human, part something else. But within the context of the show, there aren't demi-humans, so they're just humans. Except they have other things which apparently aren't humans, but have human shapes. The snake people, the Antarcticans in particular, come to mind. And sometimes I'm not quite sure if this knew what kind of show it wanted to be, because this looks like wholesome slice of life, and it will spend a lot of time being that. It's like, oh yes, the worst thing it gives you is a kiss and people swooning and talking about weird, oh, well, you have to be careful about doing this with a centaur because that could be considered discrimination or stuff like that. And then it's like, oh, the characters don't have any clothes on. Well, they're topless or whatever, and it's not even like, oh, here's some fog hiding the boobs or some lines. Now, it's kind of hard because it's the Blu-ray release, so it could have been when it aired that stuff was censored, and it got uncensored for this release. Well, not for this release, but for the home video release. But then there's other weird things, like it's not completely unrealistic, but it is weird where there's this one interaction where Hime, the centaur girl, rejects a love letter, and it reveals that she's kind of afraid of relationships because when she was a little kid, apparently she was traumatized a lot as a little kid by everything that traumatizes every little kid. And so, yeah, anyways, she was afraid of what her vagina looked like, for lack of more scientific words, I guess. And this came about because, you know, they do have cows and stuff in this world, and somebody was like, hey, does yours look like that? And as a little kid, you know, that kind of left a strong impression on her, like every other thing that happened to her, apparently. But it led to this scene where the characters are, I guess, investigating each other's genitals in order to kind of try to appease or reduce her doubts or something like that. And it's weird because it exists at this weird level where it's like, why are these characters talking about this? I don't even think I can think of a show where characters really talked about their penises in the same way, so it seems weird that the anime would choose to bring it up, but at the same time, it does seem like it's a realistic fear that people in real life talk about, and I don't know if that was handled in a way that some people would, but it's handled in a way that some people might bring up or recommend, so it's weird. So it has little moments like that, and they're not very common. Like, there might have been one or two others, maybe? Nothing comes to mind, though. But it kind of felt like it's got these weird pockets of changing what kind of genre it's trying to be. Because most of the time you could say, oh yes, it's sort of like standard kids going to school and they're just doing stuff and this is school life. And then all of a sudden, oh no, I guess they want to remind us that there's male viewership or something like that. And sometimes it's not even like snuck in, like with the mermaids. And those mermaids have some weird designs, I gotta tell you. But yeah, I don't know, a bunch of weird stuff. Anyways, overall, it was okay. It didn't quite hit the spot as much as I would have liked. So I guess in terms of the three demi-human things, I would put it lowest. I liked the interview with Monster Girls the most. I found it the most engaging, interesting, thought-provoking. Monster Musume is very high quality. Anyways, next up, Dragon Ball Super Volume 4. Now, I didn't watch all of this. I watched like maybe only 4 episodes with my friend. But yeah, basically just enough to transition between arcs, I guess. And Dragon Ball Super remains very entertaining. I think I've jokingly said that it's an anime about food. Maybe not on camera, but you know, it seems to be an anime about food. So it's a Dragon Ball series about food, and yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what else I would say, because, you know, that remains a constant topic. There were certain predictions that were made by myself and my friend that we both got completely right. And I think they were kind of obvious things as well, even if it took them, 30 episodes to reveal. Episode 40, yeah. So it could have taken them like 40 episodes to reveal certain stuff. No, probably not that long, because I'm forgetting arcs and how long they've been. But overall, you know, it's been nice. I look forward to seeing more of it. But it sounds like Ant-Man vs. the Wasp at theaters, and that's probably going to be our priority for our next get-together. And then I don't know what's after that. It's hard to keep track of things. All I know is the end of this month is coming closer and closer, and once it shows up, we should get a chance to see that Sentai Filmworks super set thing, that Legend of the Galactic Hero set. I'm kind of looking forward to being able to dig through that, because I don't know how many people got it that also open stuff on camera. I don't know. It's crazy. It's all crazy. And speaking of crazy, so other stuff I've done, I don't know that most of it is really notable, but I did, first of all, I did finish watching Steven Universe Season 5, and the only question I have is, oh shit, where's Season 6? So, good stuff. If you've never watched Steven Universe, you can probably watch it knowing that watching through to Season 5 will be a very satisfying experience. But, yeah, other stuff, video games. So, I have two Wiis. I have the white one, two Wii U's. The white one here, and I've got a black one. The white one was my original one, and Super Smash Bros. Used to be on it, but as that game got bigger and couldn't fit on the console itself, eventually got moved to the hard drive, and then the hard drive became unreadable. So I lost my Smash 4 data, and this happened a long time ago, but I guess recently it sounds like I need to catch up on that. So last night I fired up my black Wii U, installed the updates to Smash, bought all of the appropriate bundles to get all the costume stages and fighters, all the DLC ones, and played enough in order to unlock all the characters and all the stages. So now at this point I'm just going to let my amiibos play, gather gifts, and try to accumulate other gear, probably transfer me stuff. And a lot of the goal there is later this year, my company's going to try to do video game tournament stuff, so I'm going to make sure that we decided to do Super Smash Brothers because it's a very approachable game. And I guess I just got to make sure I have everything set up. Which it turns out I didn't have all the GameCube controllers I thought I did. I think because I was going to get Wavebird controllers, and those are expensive. They were expensive then. They're probably ridiculously expensive now. And yeah, so I just need to make sure I have a total of 8 GameCube controllers. So I've ordered 3 more. Let's see if they're any good, because when they're new, they're expensive, and when they're used, they're pricey but affordable. So yeah, I spent a lot of money last night just to make sure my Smash Brothers setup is complete. Yeah. But I can't think of anything else particularly notable to talk about. Yeah, so I'll just do whatever. I'm not sure what I'm going to watch next, but it probably in that pile over there of new stuff. Unless I play that Switch game, which I doubt. So, yeah, y'all have a nice week.